Ta-da. Well, we got Joanne's name.
Oh,
Aha.
sorry. You have to hit OK for the recording before you can get off mute. I didn't realize that.
Oh, who knows? It may be new.
It may be new. It may be new. Who knows? Sorry, folks. Yeah, I got the glare of the sun here too this morning.
Oh, how nice.
Well, yes and no. It means fall's coming because the sun's lower and then it comes in more at this hour.
Ah, okay. Well, I don't know about Adam, so we'll go ahead and begin. Good.
And we could hear it.
Yes.
Well, I did remember to do that.
You did.
Sorry, yeah. I can hear it well on my phone, and I can't hear it on my newer computer.
Well, that's
A
good.
mystery.
There is something then. So, questions? Comments? How's your practice going?
We're all activating that fourth energy body.
Yeah, right. Are you?
Working on it.
Okay. Uh,
I have questions or comments about 7.
oh, well, isn't that strange?
Uh, I've been trying to compose my mind about what's going on or not going on. Of course, it's entirely possible that I've missed something or missed the boat, but I feel like I have a much bigger purchase and a much bigger engagement with 2 through 6. I have, I can maneuver my way around those. I understand what's supposed to be going on with the energy and the whole body movement. But when we get to 7, much of that just sort of falls by the wayside. And I feel like I'm stuck in my head and shoulders for the most part. And that certainly as far as whole body movement, nothing much is going on in 7. There's movement, but it's not whole body movement. And specifically, I don't know, I don't think I know what the energy is supposed to, that she is supposed to be doing in 7. How it's supposed to be flowing, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, anywhere close to the way I have an understanding of 2 through 6. So it's just like I know 7 is supposed to be the culmination, but when I have, especially when I have a good practice, I reach the end of 6 and I'm feeling really good. And then 7 just was flat for me.
yeah.
So it's not very specific, but it's I don't even know how to ask a specific question. It's 7.
Yeah.
I don't think you're alone in that.
No.
Although I could be wrong, maybe the rest of you have connected with that. In terms of the movement of the energy, it's doing all the things that are happening in the others as well, but with a primary focus on moving up and down through the spine. Go ahead.
I was looking for some of the recordings for something else actually, and I ran into the one on number 7.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be helpful because it was helpful for me. It's in March. I didn't get the exact date, but it's the one that's Advanced Gods number 10. And
Okay.
we asked David more about number 7. And so you, in that one, you do show us the movements. I just, yeah, that was a good review for me, even though that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking actually for something in the flow, but that's okay. But I'm glad I found it. So
Yep, thank you.
if you keep them there, if you keep them, Bill, that's helpful.
Yeah, I do keep them. I probably was too lazy to go back and try to find it.
Well, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't even looking for that one. I was looking for something else, but there it was. And yes, and at one point, David, you said, yeah, I never really indexed these. So it's hard to find something. And oftentimes it's because we ask a question, not because that's the name of that class, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's hard to find the information sometimes.
Right, I Post-it notes. That's what.
Yeah. Well, that's probably a really good idea.
Yeah.
Um, it's this like everything. This is something you really have to feel, and unfortunately, it's a little difficult for me to see on Zoom what you're doing, which is why I proposed that when Bill comes, we really all try to come here and focus on 7, at least for part of the time. You do come on Tuesdays, Bill, so we could take a few minutes and look at that for you, but there's so many specifics in there that if you don't do the movement correctly, it simply defeats itself. And so it's very easy, I think, in that one to really lose the intention of what you're trying to do. It seems like a foreign movement. It's not whole body movement in terms of every part of the body moving, because there are parts from the midriff down that are not significantly moving. They are still twisting and eventually spiraling. They're still lengthening. They're not doing any significant bending or stretching that you can be aware of, but the energy is still moving, both from the feet to the crown of the head and back to the feet, and also from the dantian out to the extremities and back. And the real focus, as I said a minute ago, on the movement of the energy is up and down through the spine, which was part of focusing, really beginning to be able to feel the anterior and posterior ligaments and movements of the spine as really separate at least separate awarenesses, so that you really get the sense of that movement up and down through the spine. And it's the slightest collapse at the midriff gets in the way. If you let yourself significantly shift the weight from side to side, that gets in the way. If you lock the neck instead of keeping the neck rotating, that locks the way. Learning to feel the extremely subtle opening and closing of the ribs on the sides of the body is part of the whole movement. I mean, there's just so much, as there is actually in every posture, but in this one, it's kind of another one that's kind of counterintuitive, because we've been for years so focused on whole body movement that when we're only focusing on part of the body moving physically, it seems foreign. But at this point, ideally, you have arrived at a level of awareness where you are able to be aware of things like twisting or spiraling or lengthening, opening and closing without movement. It is not necessary that there be any movement for those to occur. So you have to in that, particularly while we have to deal with whatever the physical movement is, I mean, the primary focus is internal. It is not on the physical movement. The physical movement has to be correct, but it's just the outside shell. It's not what's really happening. And maybe that's confusing. I don't know.
No, it's not confusing. It's helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
I look forward to when we're all here.
Yeah.
You're articulating what is going on still in the lower half of the body. You know, the twisting and spiraling. Yeah, right.
And lengthening and opening and closing.
So that my tendency is, okay, I can't move from here down, so shut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, lock that up, and that's not what's going on.
No, it is not. And it's one of the things is to be aware that, matter of fact, that's one thing we're going to do today in a practice, but be aware that you don't have to be moving for the energy to move, or for you to move the energy, and those two are different. The energy is always moving. How you move the energy can be very, very different. I don't think I have anything more to say about that at the moment, unless someone has another question about that or something else. Okay. There is a big silence. So, have I stunned you?
No pressing questions, David. No questions.
Okay.
But I'll just make a quick observation. For me, I am focusing on the physical movement in 7 a lot more than the other parts, and my image is sort of, something holding right at the bottom of the spine, and I'm imagining that spine that the chiropractor has, and making the whole thing go around, with that base being stable. So it is more of a mental it's more of a physical exercise at this point, but like with the other movements, when the movement starts being physical movement is more like riding a bicycle, then the energy stops being an exercise and starts being an energy movement. It's just harder to get 7 probably because our hips are staying, we don't have the 4 points thing going on.
No.
So it just feels so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. Okay, so let's do a practice. Beginning to try to incorporate all of the we talked about last time into movements 5 and 6. And the essential issue is that in whatever way you want to move energy up and down your central channel, you can use the method of taking the central channel energy and splitting it off into the left and the right, and the left and the right are a way of really combining the energy so that you can open the central channel. This is the main point. It doesn't matter what movement you do it with. So we're going to do it with movements 5 and 6. So if you would stand up. And take a moment to let yourself establish your structure and to land and breathe. And extend your mind through your body. And then condense and begin movement 5. So as your hands come up, bring your energy up your legs. And when you come down and reach the lower dantian, twist your hands in a little bit more to close your lower dantian so that you don't have the energy leaking back into the left and right channels. It's like there is a little ball. Bring that ball up and just try and get it as high as your belly button. And don't worry, just keep on going up the middle any way that you want to or can. We're not going to try and go the whole channel at once. We're going to do it in stages. Now the next time you reach your lower dantian, make that little twist to lock. And then try and bring that little ball up to somewhere between your lower dantian and your diaphragm. When you feel you've got that, Just keep on bringing it up, nice and easy. Because what you're doing is you're clearing and smoothing your central channel. Lock at the lower dantian, and then bring it up to your diaphragm. And then keep on bringing it up a little bit more gently until you get a sense of it going to the top of your head. Getting the energy from your left and right channels. When you reach, go just a little bit past your diaphragm to the center of your heart. And then bring that ball right up the central channel. And going out. Now by this time you have the ability to have your mind inside your body and be able to feel what's going on inside your body. And if you don't have that ability, you actually have no business doing this particular practice, because it would be just a great evil. Just because you'll waste your time, nothing will come out of it. So why would you want to do? I'm not sure. Now take the energy up to your throat. Remember that as soon as you reach the crown of your head, you have to let it split. And now take it up to your phylum, which is the place between your nose and your lips. And this, just continue getting the ball up to the top. Remember that little turn to lock the chi into your central channel. And bring it up and past your phylum to where your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. Let that little twist establish the chi in your central channel. And then you're pulling that little ball of energy up. Because there is a difference in the way the left and right channels feel and the central channel feels. Now take that up to between your eyebrows and continue up to the crown of your head. Now bring it up to the height of the middle of your forehead. Now the crown of the head by way. Split the energy after by way. And then up to the boundary of your etheric body. Now just bring your hands to your sides and stand for a moment. Now with your mind only, bring the energy of your left and right channels into your central channel and hold it there in the lower dantian, the base of your central channel. Now you could think of why you've been going through these stages this way. It's like you have a truck and it's going to go down the road. And as it goes down the first bit, there's a smooth road. And then it becomes all bumpy gravel. And so you have to go through it. And then the next time, by magic, the road becomes a little bit longer and smoother. And the rough section a little bit shorter. And as you go further down the road with each progressive step, the gravel becomes smoother. And the truck can run without getting knocked off the road or getting a flat tire. So that's what you're looking for, is that when your system can absorb energy going up the central channel, just doing it a little bit by a little bit, then you can let it go a little bit further. And you don't make any attempt to have it go all the way through until the blockages preventing it going through your central channel have been resolved. Until then, you're just going to go up and down, up and down. So now begin doing movement 6. And again, you're gathering all the energy from your left and right channels. And then, when you reach the point above your head, you're going to twist your hands in just a little bit to establish and lock the energy into your central channel. And then you're going to try and bring it down to Bai Hui. And then after that, just bring it down smoothly. But you're not trying to bring that pearl down now, because your system now has to have the time to integrate everything that's happening to it. Again, now when you get to Bai Hui, twist your hands in just a little bit and lock the energy into the central channel. And let your hands move your energy down your central channel. And then bring your energy down your legs. Then up your left and right channels. And the next time you lock, about even with your hairline, along the central channel. So now you let that little pearl go and just have a general sense of moving energy down your central channel. And then you raise the energy up your left and right channels. At the point above your head, lock. And bring that pearl down to between your eyebrows on your central channel. And then just let your hands, as best you can, bring the energy down the central channel. But don't be concerned if it's not perfect. When you have that little pearl and the little tiny ball, you want to have them clean and clear. After that, just get it going down to smooth the way for the next round. Now, if you have not been, start doing reverse breathing to bring the energy up your body using the ball method. And then when the ball goes down, take it down the central channel to where your tongue touches the roof of your mouth. And again, bring it up your body, above your head. Turn your hands slightly to lock it in and bring it down to your phylum, between your nose and your upper lip. down past the phylum to your throat notch, on down to the end. And now keep on going down the way we've been doing it and bring it to the heart. And let it go easy and just smooth the way down the central channel. Smooth the energy in your left and right channels, regardless if you're bringing them down or you're making them rise up. Again, twist and lock into your central channel above the head and bring it down to your heart. Lock above your crown and bring it down to your belly button. And now from above the crown of your head, bring it down to your lower dantian. And notice how you can do this to make your mind calm and smoother. As your hands go up with reverse breathing, your belly goes in, up your spine, and comes out your solar plexus. As your hands go down, it goes from in front of your solar plexus back to your spine, down the spine, and down to the bottom of your belly. So now that you can make the energy go up and down your central channel, focus on dissolving anything in your central channel that seems blocked or rough. Anything that does not seem effortless and smooth. Now do it 3 times, going up your central channel and then 3 times going down your central channel. So you have to go back to movement 5 to bring it up, and movement 6 to bring it down. And as you're moving that ball, dissolve anything along the central channel. So you're trying to get the movement up and down the central channel to be smooth. And when you finish, just let your hands rest at your sides. And as you're standing, use reverse breathing without any arm motions, and make your energy go from your lower dantian to above the crown of your head. As your belly comes in and up, you're using the second method of reverse breathing. And then let it come in and down your spine and out the front of your belly when you want to make your chi go down your central channel to your lower dantian. And now just using your reverse breathing, make your chi go up. And make your chi go down. And let yourself pause and rest and sit down. So, comments, questions, random thoughts?
I guess I mean random thoughts is you did how our bodies react when we're really doing it right, when we're doing it right, and then you can really feel that chi, right? I could really
Good.
feel that, and there are a few times that I thought I felt it, and then you said something and it just kind of clicked even more, and that happens to me, like, oh, boom, yep, okay.
Good.
Still coordinating everything at times, but that was very helpful.
Well, yes.
Oh yeah, don't forget the legs. Now get it all together.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
I felt I had an easier time moving the energy up than down.
Mm-hmm.
I still felt that I was moving it both ways, but there seems to be a greater amount of energy involved coming up. And so actually when we stopped doing the up, I had a lot collected up here, from my throat notch up through my head. Felt very hot. Maybe because I don't normally feel it there, that it felt exaggerated, but it was there. So
Good.
um,
So do you think that there is something blocking the energy going down?
I didn't sense that.
Mm-hmm.
I just uh, it wasn't as clear. The movement wasn't as clear.
Yep.
As you went up, actually, I was jumping ahead a little bit. You you got to the middle of Dantian, and I was up, above that, and I was at the throat notch. So it was moving, and I could notice it. When we started coming down, I had trouble focusing on where it was, etc.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I would continue to try to be aware of places where um, not necessarily blocked, but where the energy slows and
Okay.
or the flow is a little rough or difficult getting through. Because you don't want it to collect in one part. You at one terminal. You want it to circulate.
Yeah, when I sensed that, I tried to divide it and get it down to left and right channels,
Uh-huh.
just to move it out of the way.
Okay, that's one way to put it. Good. Anything for Bill or Carol?
Yeah, I also found it much easier to move it up, and I think it's because of the way my reverse breathing tends to go sort of like this,
Mm-hmm.
going in and then out and in and out. So to try to reverse the reverse breathing to go the other way to bring it down just feels very awkward right now because I haven't done that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not when I guess I've only been doing reverse breathing one way in one cycle. So,
Yep. Understandable. Yeah.
but one thing that you did say that was very helpful was reminding what's going on with your tongue inside your mouth.
Mm.
Yes, when you mentioned that, I realized my tongue was sort of flat up against my palate, and you know, but when I do what practice I do of a form, that is a very active part of what I'm doing, and I think it's been less so in God's for whatever reason. I just haven't thought about it. So
Mm.
that was a good thing to remember. So thank you.
Good. Good.
I found, again, going up much easier, almost from the beginning of this practice. I could feel it going up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then as Bill Nagel said, coming down, it felt like it was stuck up there, and you were doing it so slowly, you're keeping it there. And I wanted to get it down.
Right. So each cycle you do want to bring it down. You're right.
Yeah. Um, and my shoulder started hurting. So I just stopped and focused on trying to move it up and down
Mm-hmm.
as you did, as we did at the very end. Well, I started doing that before we got to the end because
Yeah,
I
that's
was
fine.
focusing on, well, is my shoulder going to rise this time or not? And I said, okay, no, it's not. So let's just
Yeah,
focus on the important stuff here.
that's right. Nope, that's
So
right.
it
Um,
was it was pleasant to realize that that without the physical movement, I could still sense the energy movement. That was,
Good. Yeah, that's important.
yeah.
It's also, well, the energy does, I think, have an easier tendency to rise than it does to sink. I mean, if you think about it, we had a much easier time feeling the energy in our arms than we did in our legs. Um, and so, um, really being aware of that and focusing on getting the downward flow to be as clear and smooth as the upward flow is an important thing to be aware of, indeed. So, a couple more thoughts about this practice. It won't much matter whether you connect the Laogong points or connect the wrists when the arms cross. Because if you have your wrists really connected, you also have your Laogong connected through the back of your hands. And the reason why it's ultimately better to be connected this way with the wrists is that it is activating the left and right channels much more continuously coming into your body. The downside is that people often find their body is just not stretched enough to be able to do that. So if it's not stretched enough to be able to do that wrist cross position, then just do it with Laogong on top of Laogong, because the main point is the central channel. Whereas if your wrists are connected, it's better for your body. But also, even though you're focusing on the central channel, it is continuously bringing energy from your left and right channels into your central channel. Now, something else that might be of interest to people who do Tibetan Buddhism, that there is a practice there that is called Pola, which is the transference of consciousness and forgetting about the whole range of how it gets done. The point is, how do you get the consciousness in your body to go outside your body? And they use this at the time of death and for all sorts of other things. Now, Taoists also use it when they want to go out and travel. It is actually a common thing that happens to people when they practice Tibetan Pola, and it is also a thing that happens in Taoism. What it is about is that it's opening by waypoint, so that it continually and actually can transfer things in and out of your body. Now, what we just did was working with the three channels of the body. And a little bit more context about that. First of all, what is a channel? Actually, channel means a lot of different things. It just means that It is a route that energy travels through your body. And if you have the ground and the road, you have two things. The road travels on the ground, and that's a channel. And inside your body, the three main channels are your central channel, which controls them, and your left and right channels. Depending upon what level of Taoist practice you're doing, these three channels from where they are specifically located inside your body. The left and right bring the bones and the central channel. The left and right move along the bones and the central channel in the bone marrow. And from these areas open up a whole matrix of channels throughout your entire body. From the Taoist point of view, your body has between 4,000 and 5,000 energy channels, depending upon how you want to count them. And each of them does something. And we're not talking about that every capacity is a capillary is a channel, because when they speak of this in yoga, they talk about, for example, the 72,000 bodies, and they are mostly talking about capillaries. They're not really talking about energy channels per se. They're talking about the tiniest blood vessels in the body. But these three main channels have the ability to activate qi going through every channel in your body. So when you first start in Qigong, you don't really care about your left and right and central channels exactly. A little bit to try and get you a point of view. But when you can talk about meridians, or you talk about this channel and that channel, and these are all part of a process of getting your awareness to open up to what the channels are in your body. But when you really start working with the left, right, and central channels, the first stage of how they work is that they are very physical. They are what is governing the physical actions of qi inside your body. But later, it starts moving on to what you're really wanting to talk about, whether it's the left and right or the central channels, or the three dantians, or the three chakras, whatever way you want to talk about them, and about how the psychic energy moves through, because ultimately it's going to be that psychic energy as it moves through karma and essence that is going to allow you to make the jump from what we call the unenlightened state to the enlightened state. So it is necessary in order for you to be able to make that jump. Now the three channels are important. The left and right channels are responsible for the working of most of the physical properties of the body, whereas the central channel is important because it powers the left and right, and if there is a diminution of the energy in the central channel, then the left and right channels are going to get weak. So as a big example, if you can't feel your hand, that tells you that the energy going through, in this case the right channel of your body, is getting dead because it didn't get all the way to your the end of your hand. And if you have water and you put it through a hose, it comes out the other end of the hose. It doesn't stop in the middle. So in Shen-Gong, when you start fully moving beyond just what channels are physically to what they are doing psychically and karmically, it is really what the heart of Shen-Gong, where the heart of Shen-Gong belongs. And that is something that God's playing in the clouds as it moves further very definitely does. Now here's a funny thing about that. Nobody knows how long they're going to be alive. For all you know, an asteroid is going to drop from the sky and flatten you tomorrow. Intellectually, it's not really possible to understand what karma is when it's moving. But if you go far enough in the psychic realm, then you actually can feel and experience karmic obstacles or karmic energy the same way you can feel your fingers. Now, most masters don't really want to comment at all on that, particularly about what the energy moving through karma is, because if they say one thing, they're going to get at least 9,000 questions, and the majority of which the person asking the question has no way of understanding the answer. But they're curious. It's something like children asking, why? They're trying to make sense of the world. But when you're trying to get things that are this subtle, or why a why producing another why, although it's an interesting intellectual example, the fact of the matter is that it doesn't help you to actually be directly in contact with what that karmic energy is, to know when it's coming up and know how to start resolving it. And the process, the purpose of all higher level spiritual practices is to teach a person how to deal with what the karmic energy is and resolve it. So this is a reason why those teachings are usually not engaged early in the process, because it's not a question that you couldn't give the answer. It's that no one would understand what you gave to them. So the Taoist way is different than the yogic way. The yogic way, when it does this, they hold the breath and lock in each one and then release it. And here it's done in a very smooth, continuous, never-ending manner, because Taoist philosophy believes that everything is a circle, and a circle within a circle becomes a spiral, and it is the continuity of the golden thread that runs through all time and space that is our primary focus. You might want to read that again.
Yeah. I must admit, after that practice, I'm not absorbing much intellectual stuff.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You're making a check that you need to go back. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
So my thought, I'll just say to you, because I think that this practice is really important, and I think we'll do it again next week. Uh, I don't think this is something we should just run away from. So just to tell you. Um, so any last minute questions, thoughts, whatever.
There's a lot here. No.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Yep.
Hope your internet comes back, Bill.
Oh, I do too. Have a good week, everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Phew.
Joanne.
Well, I've been having some lower back pain, and kind of below my waist, really back. It may be actually probably more hips than back. And so that's really affected my practice. So I was a little worried, but it the legs took it all today.
Oh.
Which is great, actually. I mean, I wasn't sure I could make it through the whole thing, but yeah, but I did.
Oh, good. Good. So, any questions in the forum?
Well, it's funny because my main question has been in the form, kind of, I think it's from Subdue Tiger through like to gargoyles, right? And
Uh-huh.
I've always had a struggle with that. And now it's just a matter of, it's like, oh, now I remember how to do, I don't remember how to do it while I'm doing the form. So I have to stop and kind of get it back in, but I need to make sure I'm all the nuances of making sure I'm turning and the like. So I really wanted to go back and I remembered, as I think I said maybe even last week, oh yeah, no, I have it on tape. And then my note was really unclear as to where it was. Well, it said what date it was, but somehow I had lost that one and you'd send it to me later. So I ended up going, I think too much time going through a lot of the tapes going, it's going to be here somewhere. And I knew it was at 1 minute and 2 seconds. So I didn't have to go through like every single thing.
Yeah.
But that's how I found that's how I found number 7.
Oh.
Like, oh, there it is. That's right. But
Yeah.
then by the time I found it, I didn't have enough time to do a lot of I had a lot of company this week. We had a friend, we have memorial service on Friday up in Massachusetts. So people came into town and then you're up there and then I had the kids all weekend. So not heavy practice time, but I feel like, oh, now I found it. I have watched it a few times and just need to keep practicing that segment because it's very frustrating to get to a point and go, okay, so all I can do is get to, high pad again or whatever.
Yeah.
So at this point, I feel like everything you've given us and my going back over that this week is less, hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah.
No one's staying over. I don't think I have any memorial services.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But so I think that's where I feel like I need to do that before I can move forward enough. I think that's really the only section in the whole thing that's really still puzzling.
One of the things, this came up in another class because this section is included in the 30 posture Wu style.
Okay.
And that is that when you go into incense, offering incense, it's really important to make sure that leg going back really crosses the center, because that's how you create the stability of the structure in that particular place. And then as you go from there into Gargoyles Guard the Temple, that those two movements are continuously rotating. And so really making sure you don't get stuck, because that's what I'm often see is getting back into one and you stop.
Yeah.
And then do the other. And there's no pause. It's a
Right.
and it is
Never a pause. Never a pause.
never a pause. And it is doing gargoyles is the the yin, the incoming section is one way, and then the out is the opposite. So it's just turn, 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 turn.
Yes. Yeah.
So um, do you want to try that, or is that not a good thing at the moment?
I'm feeling like my legs have had it today.
I see. Okay.
And if they're feeling a little. I mean, I think one of the problems in my not being able to in this, you know, while it's both a little challenging, but when I was having that sciatica and those other back problems, you know, offering incense is not the thing you do.
No,
know?
It's not.
Physically. So I was stopping there. That was the more challenging section. I found the second paragraph a bit more challenging. Anyway, but that once I got back into things, that was. But yeah, let's go for doing that next week. And then we will be in person. So we could also do this class in person, and that will be amazing.
Is that next week we're in person?
No, I think it's a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah,
It's we changed it, or we clarified last week. It's the 18th.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and John has a doctor's appointment at 11. So
on the
if
18th?
I'm in person, I have to book out of here at 10.
Oh, at 10. Okay.
And to get home, get to Norwich.
Oh, yeah.
Get to the doctor's office, set up his scooter.
Get him, yeah, all set. Yeah, so, okay.
Yeah, 10 would be the latest I could stay. So I can't do any woo.
Yeah.
But I would like to be.
Well, you know, we can always, we live here, right? Yeah. I mean, we're not coming from Virginia.
You're not?
No, that would be nice sometimes, I think. Oh, yeah. But, you know, I'm not traveling right now. I'm not traveling just around New England lately. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm up for, you know, hopefully, I mean, I say health-wise, and then I had, you know, COVID last month, but yeah, another time maybe when we get together and
we could plan another time when you guys
just even do woo. Yeah, right.
Focus primarily on woo.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I'm needing to be in Salem at different times because the Community Land Trust owns a farm there now, and I'm trying to deal with. I need to meet with the folks in the city and the like, so I could easily kind of are in town.
Yeah,
head out there and plan a morning and then some meetings. So.
You're too busy, Joanne.
I am, but then I also try not to oh, well, if I'm going through Salem and then I leave your place at, 10:30 or some, then, oh, well, you might as well save all of that driving time. And I never go out for one errand. I always make sure I have two or three, that's
a good thing.
Consolidate my time, right? I need to go to the bank and I'll stop at Malherbe's to get vegetables, blah, blah, blah.
I'm familiar with all of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, especially where you are, David.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I learned how to do this when I lived in Ballintown.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a mile and a half to get milk. You couldn't run around the corner. Where here I can get milk in 4 different places from what I can see from my porch.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I've got a Walgreens and a CVS almost immediately across the street. I guess you can get milk at Dollar General, but I never go in there. But anyway, there are a number of stores up and down here.
Yeah, I do.
I know.
Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich is very different than Yeah, where you are or where I was in Voluntown.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, we can plan that so we can look at our calendars, Carol,
Yeah.
and see what kind of works.
yeah.
Good. Good. Yeah, that'd be great. Anything for you at the moment, Carol?
No, I mean that section is the hardest on my ankle.
Uh-huh.
Ah, yeah. See, that's why I
Because-
didn't do it for a long time. It's the
Because-
hardest on our bodies in that way.
Well,
Yes.
the Achilles tendon area, that part
Yep.
is very stiff. I mean, it's still swollen, but so
Ah,
it doesn't hurt a lot, though it's achy a little bit today. It's just I have to be very careful.
Yep.
yeah.
So we will wait on that
Through the
class.
whole-
We'll
Through
do
the
it the
whole
next
form,
couple of
actually,
weeks.
I'm very careful.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I
Totally.
mean, that's why I didn't do it for a long time because it
Yeah.
just everything was too tender. So,
Yep.
I mean, I will keep practicing that. And yeah, David, we could go over it when we're together, anyways.
Good. Well, don't overdo.
Don't overdo, or you won't do it all.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Exactly. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm heading out to Newport today. I'm bringing the littlest Rick and I'm bringing the littlest grandkids to see the elephants in Newport. Have you heard about the elephants in Newport?
No, they're elephants.
They're not real elephants. Well, there's over 100 of them, but they're full size and they were made from an invasive plant in India. That's actually a problem for the elephants.
Ah,
And so, yeah, go online. They're just amazing. I mean, there's like a couple of dozen of them on the front lawn at Salve Regina University. There's some on the front lawn of the Breakers. So there's
Oh,
like
wow.
a mile-long place near the Cliff Walk in Newport where they have like 100 full-size elephants. Well, they're full-size and some are babies. I mean, they're all different,
yeah.
ages.
Yeah. Oh,
So
wow.
it sounds great, but Rick was an elephant boy in Clyde Beatty Cole Brothers Circus when he was in college. He worked there for a summer, so particularly taking care of the elephants. So elephants have always been kind of a thing,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
We went to the circus and we because of Rick's connection, we got there early and we watched the elephants put up the tent.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. That when they would come to Groton, right? I have pictures of a number of babysitting co-op trips to watch the elephants put up the tent.
Oh, wow. That's
Which
great.
is one of the things Rick used to do. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
anyway.
Patrick and Sarah Jane were in strollers.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They were little. Yeah. No, I'm sure I should look and see where those pictures are, but I do have some of those. Yep. Yeah.
And I ended up with a migraine.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It's got a lot of memorable things about it.
Oh, yeah.
The elephants are really great. Made it worth it.
Well, have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Yes. Nice long
Thanks.
weekend, I hope for. So more practice on a nice long quiet weekend.
Okay, good. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.